This automation right here will download any YouTube transcript completely for free, so you don't have to pay for other subscriptions like Apify, which is like $40 a month. And in fact, this is the same exact workaround that they used to get transcripts for free and then ultimately charge you for it. We're cutting up the middleman, baby. And I'm gonna take it one step further, because not only are you gonna get it for free, but we're gonna have a way to store it so that you can use it later for whatever you want. So here's how this works. First, you come here to on form submission, and we'll hit execute trigger. Now we'll find whatever YouTube video we want. So I'm gonna grab this one just to show you how long it is. The thing is 6 hours and 22 minutes. My boy Caleb right here went crazy with it. So we'll just drop in the transcript right here. Now we'll run it, and we'll see in the background it's doing its thing, gets a transcript, and it starts to create it, so that if we go over to Airtable right here, you'll see we have the full transcript just like this, and we can do whatever we want with it. So I'm gonna walk you step by step through how I actually built this so that you can then adapt it to whatever use case you want. Now, if you wanna get this system for yourself, like the Airtable base and the workflow, you can download it in the description below. Now, in order to make this, you gotta start all the way back at the beginning here, and that is with the on-form submission. So simply, we're just looking for the YouTube video URL, and we have it as a required field, of course. So the next thing we want to do is extract the video ID. So there's a lot of different ways that YouTube likes to format their URLs. So they can have this youtube.com, or they can have this youtu.be, kind of like how we did here. It gets us the standard URL right here, which is going to be important for later, but it also gets us the video ID. So when we go on to the next step, which is we got to scrape the video page. Now we're going to simply just use an HTTP request, and we'll drop in that URL right here. We're going to use it under the get method, and I'll execute the step. And then we get this raw HTML. Well, we don't really need to do much with it aside from find a YouTube endpoint with a specific API key. Now, before the red flags are going up, and I'm hearing about it in the comments, YouTube allows people to use this internal API called InnerTube so that you can access transcripts for people who are hard of hearing and for accessibility purposes. And it's the same method that those services like Apify are using to get transcripts. All right, so now we have to go on to the next step, which is to actually extract all the API information. And this code node right here will do exactly that. So we'll just hit execute step. Tells us all the information. Next, we're going to take that information and use it to get the player data. But we're going to do it pretending to be an Android. Why? Because apparently, if you pretend to be an Android, YouTube just sends over a bunch more information. We're actually looking for the link for the transcript file itself. So inside the HTTP request, we'll have it as post. We're going to send them to this URL right here, along with that API key information at the end. Then we'll send headers. We got to make sure that that is checked. The first one is going to be content-type. We're going to make sure that that is application/JSON. The second one is going to be user-agent. Now, this is something that we actually already have from that last step. We're going to just grab that field and we're going to drag it over right here. And once again, if you do want this for yourself, just go download it in the description and you can even follow along. Finally, we're going to send information in the actual body itself. So we'll turn that on, make sure it's JSON. So this is the information for the actual player, and then we have the video that it's going to be watching. Now, when we run this, we'll get a bunch of information back. So we have to go on to the next step, which is simply to extract the URL for the captions so that we can use that. So we'll hit execute step, and you can see we have the base URL right there, and it tells us the available tracks, the English, auto-generated. I mean, we actually see a lot of this stuff on YouTube already. So moving on to the next step, we have that actual base URL. We're just going to pass it over here under a GET request. That is it. That's simply it. And it's going to take a minute. It's going to look really unsexy. We have it in pure XML format right here. This is actually the transcript. This is it. It's somewhere in here. So the next step we need to do is to make this look sexy, because ain't nobody's going to be reading that. We have to actually process our transcripts so that people can read it. We also want to know the video title, the author, the video ID, the channel ID. We want to know how many views were on it. I mean, we have all this information because this is actually something that we use in our content creation hub. Now, you might not want all of it, and that's totally fine. You could just delete different stuff here, but We use it for repurposing, for all of that stuff. If you guys want to see that in the future, let me know, because I'd love to share how we use this in our actual workflows. So we're going to hit execute step, and we can see, there it is, baby. There's that full text. And like I said, it is a freaking long transcript, right? 6 hours and 22 minutes. I mean, the man went off. So now that you have the transcript, we have to actually store it somewhere so that you can use it in the future. Now, I chose to use Airtable because I think it's infinitely better than Google Sheets. So with Airtable, you can completely use this for free. I set it up that way. You don't even have to start a free trial. You just have to freaking get an account and use it. We're going to have this create new video record right here. And if you don't have the credentials with your Airtable, well, we got to come over here to create new credentials. Now, what we're doing is we're trying to do the Airtable Personal Access Token API. That's a freaking mouthful, I know, but it's actually really easy. So all you're going to do is go over to Airtable, hit your account information, and then go to Builder Hub. So it's going to bring you to Builder Hub. And then you're going to see all of the personal access tokens that I currently have. So it's going to be freaking blurred, but we're going to hit create token. Then we'll add a token name. So we're going to do test, add whatever scope you want, and just add everything. Then we're going to, under access, you can do add all resources. That actually just allows pretty much every base that you use, you could just have access to. That's it. So we're going to create token. We have our personal access token right here. We'll just copy it. Now you go back to Airtable. We'll paste it. I'm going to type test just so that I know to delete this later. We're going to hit save, and we are all good to go. Now, if you love creating dope workflows in n8n as much as I do, then give the video a like and even potentially subscribe to the channel so that you can see other videos just like this. So now you should be able to actually use this, and you'll just want to make sure that it is the transcripts base and that we're posting it on the videos table. Then we're going to send over the video title, the creator, and the video URL. The way we have our Airtable base set up is pretty basic. So we have the title, we have the creator, then we have the video URL, so we want to know what the video is in case we want to watch it in the future or whatever. Then we have these two fields. We have a transcript field, and we have the actual transcript itself. So this is, I know it says transcript twice. I could have done better at naming it, but whatever. This is the actual transcript lookup field. So essentially all we're doing is saying, hey, go to the transcript table, which is this second one, and get whatever transcript that's part of that main video and bring it back in order. This right here displays that full transcript in order. And let me show you how that actually looks. I'm going to execute step right here, and you'll actually see, okay, it creates that item on our Airtable table. So we have the video URL there, but we don't have a transcript yet because that transcript is girthy. That's a big freaking transcript, and some of them can be super long. So what we had to do instead was break it up every 20,000 characters, which is called chunking, and create a record for that on the transcripts table. So I will go ahead and run it, and it's going to create 20 different chunks, loop over each one of them, and it puts all 20 items on our transcript table, and then you can see it links it all back to the video that it's from. So on the video table, we have all of the transcript references right there, along with the transcript in order like this. Now, how I actually use this is I'll give the whole transcript to Claude, and I'll have it distill down the information so that it has like expert level knowledge on this one area. With the release of skills, we can actually create whole skills based off of this information in the transcript. But the problem is n8n does not have a native way to bring it in. But I found a way to actually make it work inside of n8n with your own custom skills so you can add expert level knowledge to your workflows. So watch this video next if you want to do exactly that.